Our summit chapters aim to unite Mountaineer leaders in their local communities to host a variety of engagement opportunities that further support the mission of Appalachian State. They're ideal for geographical areas with a vast alumni population, and summit chapters are required to maintain an active and formalized leadership board to best guarantee the longevity and success of the program. Summit chapters are required to plan and host at least 8 events per year. These 8 events must include 2 events per quarter, with at least 4 events outside of athletic viewing parties. So 8 total events per year, at least 2 events per quarter, and 4 of the events, so half of the events, cannot be athletics related. Summit chapters must also participate in the annual IBAC App philanthropy event and host 1 additional day of community service. And we are also asking and requiring that our Summit chapter leadership send at least 1 delegate to attend the annual Appalachian Alumni Leadership Conference. So all of you are already ahead of the game, but in the future, we are hoping to have the conference on campus and would welcome and look forward to having our Summit chapter leaders attend. So now let's compare our leadership board structures side by side. On the left, we've got our Summit chapters. In the middle, we've got our peak chapters. And on the right, we've got our network programs. So in terms of leadership board structure, Summit programs are required to have a president and a vice president, also known as a president-elect, and the presidential terms are limited to 2 years of service. For our peak programs, they must have a president to serve as the official liaison and point person. However, there is no term limit or year of service limit. Our network programs, very similar to the Summit chapters, must have a president and a vice president, also known as a president-elect. Presidential terms are limited to 2 years of service. For our Summit programs, in terms of a formal board structure, it's recommended that you do not exceed a board of 10 members. If you are sitting there kind of thinking, oh my gosh, we have a larger board, that's okay. We are more than happy to cycle through. We just want to make sure that we are using everyone to their full potential instead of just having 15 board members if we're utilizing 8 or 9 of them to make sure that they get the best experience possible. Our peak programs, we're not asking that they have any type of formal board structure, but we will work with them based on the number of volunteers and interested leadership members that they have. Network programs, again, very similar to the Summit chapters, recommended not to exceed a board of 10 members. Summit programs, again, at least one board member must attend the annual volunteer conference. Peak programs, it's encouraged, and presidents, vice presidents, board members are always invited to attend, but it is not a requirement. And then for our network programs, they must send at least 1 board member to serve as a delegate on behalf of their organization. So now let's talk about engagement structure or programming requirements for each group. We've got our Summit chapters, again on the left, peak chapters in the middle, and our network programs are on the right. Our Summit programs, again, must hold at least 8 events per year, and we need 2 of those events to be per quarter. For our peak programs, they must host at least 4 events annually and have 1 event per quarter. Our network programs, must host at least 6 events annually and have 1 per quarter. So Summit programs, 8 total events, peak programs, 4 total events, network programs, 6 total events. So going back to our Summit chapters, of the 8 events, they have to have at least 4 non-game viewing party or non-athletics related events. Peak programs, of your 4 events, 2 of them are non-game day viewing parties. Network programs, you are required to host at least 1 comprehensive event during homecoming. Summit programs, you're required to participate in both an IBAC app event and at least 1 day of community service. Our peak programs, you're also required to participate in IBAC app, and a day of community service is always encouraged but not required. And last, our network programs, you are also required to participate in IBAC app, and similarly to the peak programs, while a day of community service is not encouraged, it is encouraged, it is not required. And also network programs, you may be asked to collaborate with the appropriate campus representative or other groups on campus to identify some service opportunities within your interest or identity-based group. We will have more conversations individually with our network programs to identify those opportunities for you separate. All right, y'all, this information is outlined in the leadership handbook that you all have a PDF link to. You're also going to receive a hard copy as soon as we get them back from the printers. But take a look at the chart. It has a lot of great information in terms of budget and annual reports and submitting all of those things. So please, please, please read over it. And I promise we'll discuss it more in person when we're able. But I just want to make sure that you have a good understanding of what the requirements are for each, so that you can appropriately identify your chapter or network program.